Welcome to Silent Surf Fractal Guide. A heads up on what to expect. Challenge mods usually introduce new mechanics, as you know, but in this fight, existing ones become more punishing instead. Patience is crucial for this fight, because instead of fighting, mini mechanics are safety over anything else. And we also have individual mechanics, but failing these mechanics will impact the whole group. Considering GW2, this is a very unique fight indeed. In this fractal, players get survey gear. You can use this with your special action key. These skills include Grappling Hook, Parachute, Black Powder Charge, and Flare. Each comes with limited ammo, and during the fight we will use the Grappling Hook the most to reach the smaller platforms. The challenge skips the agonizing jumping puzzle at the start, thankfully. You'll need to kill some ads and use the parachute to reach the boss platform. The title of the CM is called Stalwart Serpents. For the title, you'll need to finish the challenge mode with no one dying in your party, and that includes the small fight before you go down to the boss platform. And the issue with this is that fight starts on the boss platform when you wipe, not before the first small encounter, but achievement includes the small encounter. So every time you fail, you have to open a new instance for the achievement. After the ad fight, grab ammo from here and descend with the parachute. Now let's dive into the mechanics one by one. Boss will open the fight with Roman numerals mechanic. As we know this mechanic from Iod and Soto strikes, it means spread. After the spread, it's crucial to avoid subsequent hits because getting hit twice by this mechanic kills you instantly. Dodging doesn't work too. Healers need to ensure everyone survives the Roman numerals phase, and it's a good time to use backup skills to avoid getting downed if you're DPS, because fear mechanic comes either right after spread mechanic or it goes spread CC phase and then fear. And if you get caught downed after Roman numerals, it's usually deadly. Another mechanic is Boon Steal Circles, which, if stepped on, steals boons and transfers them to the boss. Since these cannot be dodged, you need to completely walk out of them to avoid them. To avoid the fear mechanic, your character must avoid facing the eyes, not your camera. Your character should face the other side. Being feared by one of these eyes doesn't instantly kill you, but getting hit by two eyes results in instant death. So there's a strong point to getting cleanse or stun break skills that will get you out of fear. Another mechanic is Tether mechanic. It happens at 66% and 33%, and it selects 3 players to kill ads called aspects on Jade platforms. If you're chosen, you'll see a light beam tethering you to your dedicated ad. Use the special action key and Grappling Hook to reach the platform. Platforms have different heights, making higher ones more challenging to reach with the hook. One advice is to stay still when using the Grappling Hook and aim as far as possible. Speaking from experience, if you aim here, you'll definitely fall, and falling off the platform is instant death. I personally aimed the end of the Jade platforms right this point, which works for me every time. You can't confuse which platform you're gonna go to, you'll only see your ad. If it's confusing where to find it, you can also use your minimap to see your ad. the return, use either Grappling Hook or Mushrooms. I personally 100% recommend Mushrooms to avoid aiming and risking death, but be cautious of the fear mechanic. Getting hit by the fear halfway through the main platform will make you fall and die. So if there's fear mechanic on the main platform, or if it's about to happen, you can turn your back to the main platform and then head there. Or another tactic, you can wait at the Jade platform to be automatically teleported back. But again, from experience, I think this is a bug. I once died here waiting to be ported, so I don't really trust it, and I always head to the main platform instead of waiting. You can still get hit by mechanics when you're on the small platforms. For example, boss has less than 30% HP here, so it will do fear mechanic every time he jumps. I turned my back too early and got caught by fear, which killed me. But even if I didn't get caught, boss would still jump here and most of this platform would be covered in AoE. So you can stay a bit towards the side to place the AoEs, or just not come to the small platform until the overlapping mechanic is over. Supports can be targeted by the tether mechanic. I recommend supports with a bit of damage. For example, I usually prefer Tempest, but I couldn't make it work for me here because not enough damage. But I also have to say that killing these ads is not hard at all, and CCing them makes it easier to kill them. If your support is targeted, you can also try to intercept the tether as a DPS. Wiki says this is a possible mechanic, but we couldn't intercept every tether we tried successfully. But it is a possible solution. It is also recommended to stay still and not have boons such as Aegis when tether is happening, because as soon as tether starts, the mechanic that will wipe the group starts ticking on the main platform. And intercepting the tether or having boons like Aegis makes it longer to decide which player to choose. These spinning axes are called Running Storm. You'll have an orange AoE when you're targeted. When you're targeted, you should leave the group, drop the AoE, and then you can go back to your group again. If you get caught, it does bleeding damage, but additionally in CM, the AoE other players leave gives you exposed debuff, which increases your damage taken. The number of axes thrown increases as fight progresses, and they stay on the ground for some time. Not that much, but it can happen at the same time with Roman numerals, which will mess with your positioning really badly. So as the fight progresses, proper placement becomes more important. Until 30%, you can face Jade platforms at the edge to avoid fear, because all fear mechanics will be on the main platform, and the middle of the platform will be the dangerous place. After 30%, there are more simultaneous fear mechanics happening. For example, every time boss jumps on players for Roman numerals, there will be fear mechanic. Here what you should do is to stay still, face your back to your squad members, and wait until Roman numerals mechanic is over. And after that, there will be another fear mechanic on both Jade platforms and on the main platform. So we need to discuss how to avoid this in more detail after we talk about CC phases and ads. Because so many things are happening at the same time, I need to give you some more information for it to make sense. In challenge mode before 50%, there's a CC bar every 10%. And after 50%, there's CC bar every 5%. Each time you fail to break the CC bar between 50% and 0%, an ad spawns on one of the Jade platforms. Every ad that spawns will be tethered to a player, and that player should leave the fight, go to the Jade platform to kill the ad, and return to the main platform. No one else can do this but that specific player. I'm not even going to mention the DPS loss because of this mechanic, but you're risking losing a player because the wonders of Grappling Hook. One way to manage this mechanic is ignoring the ads, but ignoring ads increases boss's damage, which actually can be overhealed because some groups choose to ignore the ads, which is a valid tactic, but ignoring ads still makes the fight harder after 30% when new fear mechanic comes, because ads that are alive on Jade platforms after 30% will have eyes mechanic that fears players, limiting the safe places. So there's an ultimate safe spot on the platform with flower buds on the wall, free from fear mechanics during the fear phases because there is no Jade Island here. So you can strategically meet here to avoid getting feared by the platforms. You choose to ignore the ads or not. This is the ultimate safe place. Second option is to kill the ads like we did here. We killed every ad that spawned after 50%. So our players didn't have much to risk when they didn't use the safe spot with the flower buds, because we only needed to avoid looking at the boss when he jumped on one of the Jade platforms, as you can see, because we killed every ad, other islands are empty. There is no ad with the fear mechanic on islands other than boss on the platforms. These are all the mechanics you should know before the CM attempt for this boss. I specifically included the small fight before the boss because there are very small changes to that too. I hope it helps and good luck on your tries.
What comforts your fleeting time allows. I'll return for you.
At least you sent him back to wherever he